Hello friends, happy Pride. How are we all doing on this wonderful June day? If you were here with me last year for Pride, we did a random color challenge based on the colors of the different Pride flags. And I promised that I would do the same this year. So we are back at our random color picker wheel. I've changed the rules a bit this time because one of the rules last year was that there had to be at least 3 colors on the flags, not including black and white. And I wanted to get rid of that rule because I did draw I believe it was the non-binary flag that only had 2 colors on it, and that turned out fine. And B, I wanted to challenge myself a little bit more. So we have 10 different flags here to choose from. The only flags that I'm excluding are the 3 that we did last year, which was, I believe, non-binary, polysexual, and the lesbian flag. So this year we've got, once again, the Progress Pride flag with the little triangle in the corner. We've got the pansexual flag, intersex, genderqueer, gender fluid, the male gay flag as opposed to the lesbian flag, the bisexual flag, the asexual flag, agender, and transgender flags. I did exclude a couple flags such as the aromantic flag because it had very, very similar colors to a flag that I had already chosen. I believe the colors were pretty much the same as the agender flag. And I just want to make sure we give all the color palettes a fighting chance. But other than that, these are our options. We're doing 3 of these this year, just like we did last year. There's 4 Tuesdays in the month of May, 4 upload days, and the first Tuesday was already taken up by the Mermay speed draw review that I posted last week, so that leaves 3 characters for us to draw. And I'm gonna play it kind of fast and loose with the rules on this one. Because we have the flags that don't have that many colors in them, I'm gonna say black and white are gonna be allowed in all of these, and then shades of gray are gonna be counted as colors as well. So if a flag includes shades of gray, then I have to use those. But for the most part, this is gonna be like just a fun vibes color challenge. I don't do that many color challenges, despite the fact that it seems to be all that I do on this channel. So even though I'm challenging myself a little bit more than I did last year, I still wanna have fun with it. I think with that, we can go ahead and spin our first flag. We got the genderqueer flag. Okay, that one I'm gonna have to look up. But I think, was that the one with a lot of blue in it? Let me see. Go ahead and remove that so we don't have it for next week. Genderqueer flag. There we go. Oh, okay. Okay, this is the, ooh, like purple, green, and white. That's quite fun. This is the one we did last year. I believe this is the non-binary flag. So the genderqueer one is gonna be maybe some minty lavender, although this is not really a mint green. It's more of like a grass green. I have a feeling this is gonna be a very lavender theme piece. I don't know what it is with wanting to just draw flowers and fruit all the time, but I just think it's very fitting for these challenges. Okay, so genderqueer. My first instinct is to start off with the pose that I did last year for the non-binary flag, since I really wanna go the lavender route again, but maybe that's a sign that I should try something other than lavender. Let's see, green and purple. That green really looks like a very grassy, mossy green almost. So I'm thinking something maybe closer to a foresty scene. And I don't know about you guys, but when I think of queer, I immediately think of like frogs and mice and snakes and small forest dwelling creatures. So I kind of want to do just a cute, maybe just a cute little scene of someone just having a nice time in a forest. You know what? I'm gonna attempt more of a squatting pose, actually. Just because they're in a forest doesn't mean that they have to get their knees wet. This is actually a little bit of a joke on my stream that I can't draw this freaking pose, which is also part of the reason why I want to attempt it again. I want a little redemption round. But this like squatting pose where the knees are brought all the way up to the chest, I think it's because I usually make the torso too big, but it's just a really difficult pose. I am visualizing them kind of playing in the mud with a stick or something. I'm really just wanting like a very mossy, very foliage heavy piece, and then little purple and white flowers everywhere is really what I'm picturing. I'm gonna do one hand kind of pulled away from the body like so, and I wanna do one arm wrapped around the knees. Do we kind of see the vision for the pose at least? It's just so difficult to get the balance to look right. It just feels like such an awkward position for the body to be in. I think I've got this about right though. That's pretty good. It looks like the weight distribution is correct. Like it seems like they would reasonably be able to sit like this. I ruined it. Wait, let's back up. I need to draw like every muscle individually. kind of see how they fit together. I'm definitely thinking for the clothing, just a plain white t-shirt and some green shorts, like the khaki looking green shorts, and then maybe purple hair, because there's got to be more purple than just the flowers that I'm gonna put all over the place, right? Purple and green are kind of the main colors of this flag. Not kinda, they are. So I need to make sure there's enough purple as well. I like this though. I accidentally did this, but I kind of like the hand going over the leg rather than wrapping around it. Makes it easier for me too. Let's draw the feet first, and then hopefully we can kind of model shoes around them. I actually never sketch on my tablet anymore. I've talked about this before, but generally when I do sketching, I do so on my iPad because, one, it's portable. I can just like sit down and sketch wherever I want to, instead of having to come to my computer and boot everything up and then like just sit down and sketch the whole time. But more importantly, I found it's a really effective way of fighting burnout is to switch up environments every now and then. Not even every now and then, just often. Switch up environments as often as you can. So when I'm rendering a piece, I'm on my computer, I'm using Sai, and I'm usually doing a screen recording of some sort, and that is like my work mode. That's what I do when I want to get stuff done. But art is also a hobby of mine. It's something that I do for fun, and it's hard to separate work from fun in a sense that when I do what I enjoy as my job, it's hard to relax when you're doing it. So generally I'll try to sketch on my iPad so that I do have that change of environment. My iPad does the screen recording for me, so it's not something I have to worry about. And just using a different art program makes it feel more detached from work. So it feels a lot more relaxing when I'm working on my iPad versus when I'm rendering something on my computer. Not to say I'm not having fun when I'm rendering something on my computer, it's just a little bit more stressful because I'm also trying to make sure that the speed draw looks good. And once again, I feel like I'm in a work environment. All right, well, that's our basic shape. Before I move on and start like really detailing out the clothes, I kind of want to get the background in here, or the environment rather. So I'm just gonna do some sketches of like maybe a bush here, a little sticky twiggy branch maybe. Put some flowers in there. These will be our like purple and white flowers. I also kind of want to do, would it be fun to do like a purpley stream, do you think? Usually when I think of like streams and creeks, I'm definitely thinking of muddy brown water, but I like the idea of having kind of a purple creek instead. Some rocks in there, those can definitely be a purpley color. I'm gonna extend the stick a little bit so that we can get some white in there for the rapids. And then just a little bit of a background here, don't need much, just some bushes. I do kind of want to put maybe some taller flowers back here, something droopy. I'm really such a fan of like bell-shaped flowers that droop over. I think Lily of the Valley is one of them, which is, I believe, a blue flower, but these ones are gonna be white. Or is Lily of the Valley white? Now I'm not sure. But I love the idea of making these little white flowers every now and then. I actually haven't gone back yet to watch my old Pride videos. It's really hard to watch old videos, just in the sense of like, oh my god, like it's a little bit cringy, it's just hard to watch. But then you also look at like, oh my god, if I had known this video editing trick back then, I could have made this so much better. Just stuff like that makes old videos really, really hard to watch for me. I kind of want to add some more rocks back here. Make it a little bit of a clearing that they're standing in. I'm just trying to fill up the background as much as possible. We definitely need some trees. It's just something relatively simple. It doesn't need to be too complex. Although I fear we don't have enough white in this picture yet. Should I do white tree trunks maybe? The only white tree I can think of is a birch tree, and these that I have drawn now are definitely not birch trees. Should I make this a birch tree forest? Let's get rid of this. Let's make this more birch trees. Easier for me. They're just straight sticks. Much easier to draw. I'll look up some references when I'm actually rendering this, but for now I just want to get the basic shape in. Just like just a halo. A little whisper of leaves at the top. We don't need that many. I think that's going to be fun to render. Okay, so what do we have here? We've got purple rocks, a white and purple stream, purple flowers. You know what? There's a lot of green. Oh no, wait, we have green. All the green foliage, white birch trees, and then our character here is going to be wearing a white shirt and some green khaki shorts. And then purple hair. Let's do, I'm kind of feeling, I never draw this haircut, but I'm kind of feeling like a buzz cut. Just this sort of thing. I like that. Oh, they don't have shoes yet. Let's give them some shoes. I don't want to do white shoes, because why would you be trekking around in the mud in white shoes? I'm gonna do black. We already said black and white are on the table. We'll do black, kind of just, maybe just some like almost tennis shoes. Should I do a little color map real quick, just to see what we're working with? Let's see. White birch trees. Well, actually the background's already white. We've got green leaves. All these bushes and foliage down here is gonna be green. And green shorts. Should we do green grass maybe? It'll probably be a different shade of green, but I think the ground is still gonna be like a green color. Here we go. And then purple hair, probably purple eyes too, because I can already see we don't have a lot of this color. Rocks and river are purple. I'm not entirely sure what this little branch at the bottom is gonna be. Maybe it'll also be white, but then I don't want it blending in to the white like little river area. We'll have to see. We'll have to play that one by ear. The branch and the stick, I don't know what color those are gonna be. Okay, so that's our purple. And the flowers, little purple flowers. I didn't draw them back here, but there's gonna be some on this bush as well. There we go. Let's go ahead and repaint these ones white as well. And some white little rapids in the water. Rapids, ripples. You don't make rapids in a creek just by putting a stick in it. I'm gonna really quickly just fill in the skin tones of the character, as well as the shoes. There we go. I rather like that. I think there's definitely gonna be some variation in color. I don't want it to be like all solidly one green and one purple. I don't remember what I did last year. I think last year I tried to stick pretty true to the actual flag colors, but I want to be more fluid with it this year. I want these to look like actual neat pieces. Something I think I want to do is maybe take the purple again and add like a little bit of a sunset look to the sky. You won't be able to see much of the sky through the trees, but I think just a little purple haze is gonna go a long way. Yeah, there we go. Just to make sure we distinguish the sky from the trees. Yeah, we've got purple, green, and white galore. Again, we're gonna have different shades of color to differentiate between the like bushes and the flowers and the grass and the leaves. The rocks and the stream are gonna be different purples, but this I think is basically what we're gonna have. I'm actually super stoked for this piece. It looks so cute. I'm very, very excited to start drawing this. So I'm gonna leave you guys off here. I'm gonna render this off stream and I will meet you back here to go over the speed draw and the final product. Okay, I'll see you in a bit. Bye. Hi guys, I'm back with the finished render for you. Now, I kind of forgot when I was filming this how I did it last year. For the last Pride Month challenge, what I did was I did the initial sketch on camera. I recorded that like in real time. And then I did the line art off camera, and then I came back to do the coloring on camera again, because that's the whole point of like the challenge, is that it's a color challenge. But I did realize after filming that first part, I did the coloring in the first half, so all I have for you now is a speed draw. But we're gonna go ahead and sit here and just watch the speed draw and talk through it. And that'll just be this year's format. I don't know, I might switch back to what I did previously for the next video, because I thought that ran really smoothly. But I'm really excited with how this one turned out, so let's go ahead and watch the speed draw. So I do have to admit right off the bat, I was kind of rushing this one. I had like 3 deadlines of art that I was supposed to do creep up on me unexpectedly, including this one, so I was trying to get this done as quickly as possible. So the line art is a little bit messier than what I normally do, but I think it turned out great. I actually kind of like the messy look to it. It felt a lot more freeing to just kind of get my ideas out on the canvas instead of taking the time to really polish the line art. I did realize in the initial sketch, I don't remember if I had just forgotten to do eyebrows or if I like purposely omitted the eyebrows, but I kind of liked how it looked in the sketch. It kind of gave this character more of an alternative feel. So I decided for the line art to just not do any eyebrows, like they'd shaved them off or something. I think in the end, the no eyebrows kind of gave this character a little bit of a blank look, which I'm not a huge fan of, but I like the style. We ended up with the purple hair like I said I was gonna do in the first half of this video, and just like the no eyebrows look. It looked very unique and alternative while still going with like the plain outfit that I had given them. So I actually started off with doing the background first as much as I could, because I, like most artists, am not a huge fan of doing background. So I decided I would do the background first to kind of get it out of the way while I still had a ton of like artistic energy and artistic desire to do something. So I put that energy, I focused it on the background, and I did all of this like in really, really a lot of foliage first, so that by the time I was sort of slowing down for the day, my stamina was decreasing. All I had left to do was the fun part, which was coloring in the character. I did really, really like how the trees turned out, especially with that purple haze behind them. It kind of looks really almost like magical and ethereal. I'm super, super happy with that. I think the color balance on this was actually really, really great, because it was the purple, green, and white that we were mostly going for. I did use a lot of different tones of each of those colors. For example, the rocks here are obviously a very, very, very desaturated purple, so they do almost look gray, but they are still on the purple color wheel. There is some color in there. I just tried to make them really desaturated so that they didn't look like these bright purple rocks, especially compared to the stream. I really wanted to give the stream a chance to like look like this really magical kind of purpley stream and hopefully fit in with the etherealness of the background. This is something I've been doing on a lot of my pieces recently, and I've gotten a lot of questions about it. This part where it looks like I'm kind of erasing the line art, what I've actually done is colored in the line art. So what I do to achieve that, I might do a tutorial on this at some point. I basically take the color of the object that I'm coloring the line art of, I color in the line art with that same exact color, so it kind of looks like I've just erased the line art. And then I do a fill layer over that, clipped of course to the line art layer, of my shading color, and then I just hit multiply. And it kind of automatically colors the line art for me in a pretty similar tone to what I've shaded the piece. And I've just found this technique works really, really well. So I've been using it with almost everything that I've done so far. And then of course, I've got a little bit of a bush in the foreground there. I've got the trees in the background. Those have all been sort of blurred out to make sure that the focal point is on the character in the midground. I've been doing that forever. I think I even did that in my last Pride series as well. That's just a really, really fun, really useful technique to do to make sure your focus stays on your main character. And here they are. This is our genderqueer inspired character. I've given them a little piercing here, a little stretched lobe, the no eyebrows, of course. I have a feeling this person's aesthetic is very much like nature punk. So the kind of like comfy hiking boots, the shorts with lots of pockets in them, a simple cotton t-shirt to keep the heat off, but still going with like the dyed purple hair, no eyebrows, and the piercings. I imagine they're very big on conservationism. And yeah, they've just found this pretty little creek in this magical looking forest and are just kind of playing with a stick in the creek. I did do at the last minute there because it looked like to me they were blending in too much with the middle ground. So what I did at the very last second is I actually have the middle ground copied and I blurred it out a little bit. You can kind of tell on the edges here. This bush over here, these rocks, and then this bush on this side are all kind of blurred out a bit. If I get rid of the layer here, you can see the clear version and the blurred version, and the blurring is just to make sure that most of the focus is on the character in the center. Yeah, that is my random color palette challenge, Pride version week 1 genderqueer. I'll go ahead and pop up the flag again so you guys can contrast and compare. Yeah, that's the finished piece. I really like how it turned out. It's much more busy than I initially expected it to be, especially for a piece that I was a little bit on a time crunch for. So I'm glad I got it done in time. If you want to see the piece in full, I am posting it to my Instagram today. You can find my whole art portfolio there, including this same Pride challenge that I did last year. If you want to get access to my art just a little bit early, you can actually follow me on Patreon. I'm posting all of my art there first, an hour before it gets posted anywhere else. And if you want to subscribe to my Patreon as well, that is the absolute best way to support me and my work. You can get exclusive content there for as little as $3 a month, and I try to post there at least every other day. I also have a Twitch channel where you guys can watch me draw live. Currently, I've been skipping a few of my streams, and I do feel very, very bad about that. I've just had a lot on my plate at the moment, but hopefully after this weekend, my schedule will be cleared and I will be back to my normal routine. You can also find me on Twitter, TikTok, Threads, Blue Sky, Tumblr, Kara. All those socials will be in my link tree, which is in the description below. And make sure you subscribe to this channel so you can find your way back here for the next video. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. Hope you enjoyed this character. Leave some name suggestions in the comments if you would like. Let me know what you thought. And tune in same time next week for the next color palette challenge. I will see you guys then. Bye!